All right, so today we're going to really dig into this fascinating report we found on Google's AI strategy.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing the depth they go into.
Yeah, and just thinking about it, like, remember when Google was just a search engine?
Yeah.
Like, you'd type in your question and you get those 10 blue links,
Right.
and that was it. Well,
Yeah, a simpler time.
hold on to your hats, folks,
Oh.
because things have changed. This report basically lays out how Google plans to use AI to completely transform themselves, and it goes way beyond search.
Yeah, this is really about them moving from being search first to what they're calling AI first.
AI first.
We're talking about massive investments in research, some really mind-blowing breakthroughs, and a clear strategy to integrate AI into pretty much every single product they offer.
So it's not just about like making search better.
No.
It's about AI touching everything they do.
Exactly. It's like they're taking the smarts of their search engine and applying it to everything else.
So they're really going all in on this.
They are. And the investments reflect that. The report mentions something like $75 billion this year alone going into AI.
Wow, $75 billion.
That's serious money.
That's a lot of zeros. So where is all that cash going? What are they actually building?
Well, a big chunk of it is going into infrastructure. They're building these massive data centers packed with specialized hardware, like these things called tensor processing units, TPUs.
CPUs?
Yeah, they're specifically designed to handle the crazy computational demands of AI. Think of them like supercharged engines that can process information at lightning speed.
So like an AI gym with all the best equipment?
Exactly. It allows them to train these massive AI models way faster and more efficiently than anyone else.
Ah, so that's how they're staying ahead of the game.
It's a big part of it. And it's not just for their own use either. They're also using this infrastructure to become the leading provider of AI tools for businesses through Google Cloud.
So they're not just using AI, they're selling AI.
Yeah, they're becoming the AI utility company powering businesses around the world.
That's a pretty smart move.
It is. It really positions them as the go-to source for all things AI.
Okay, so they've got the infrastructure, but what about the actual user experience? How are they using AI to change how we interact with their products?
Well, the most obvious place is search. Remember those 10 blue links we talked about?
Yeah.
Get ready to see them less and less.
Really?
Google is rolling out these new AI overviews. They're like AI-generated summaries that appear right at the top of your search results.
So instead of clicking through a bunch of links, I just get the AI to tell me the answer.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's like having an instant research assistant that pulls the key information from multiple sources and presents it to you in a nice, concise format.
That sounds pretty awesome, but I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical. Can an AI really understand what I'm looking for and give me an accurate summary without, injecting its own bias?
That's the million-dollar question. And to be honest, early versions of these AI overviews had some, let's just say some interesting results.
Like what?
You might remember that story about the AI recommending someone eat rocks to get essential minerals.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, not exactly the best dietary advice. But Google has been working hard to refine the system. They're constantly training it on more data and incorporating feedback to make it more accurate and trustworthy.
So the AI is kind of like learning as it goes.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving and improving.
So is this the end of the blue links then? Are they just going to completely replace them with AI summaries?
It's hard to say for sure. They're still experimenting and figuring out the best way to integrate these AI overviews into the search experience. But it's clear that they see AI as the future of search.
Okay, so search is getting a major AI makeover. What about other Google products? Where else are we seeing this AI magic in action?
Well, get this. They've created a whole family of AI models called Gemini.
Gemini, like the twins.
Exactly. And each member of this family has its own unique capabilities. You've got Gemini Ultra, which is the most powerful one. Then there's Gemini Pro, which is more versatile. And then there's Gemini Nano, which is designed for smaller devices like smartphones.
Wait, so they have different versions of this AI for different things?
Yeah, it's like a whole AI ecosystem. And what's really cool is that these Gemini models can do more than just text. They can understand and process images, audio, and even code.
So we're not just talking about like writing emails or chatting with a bot. We're talking about AI that can understand the world around us.
Exactly. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
So where are we actually seeing these Gemini models in action? Like what products are they being used in?
Well, for starters, Gemini is powering Bard, Google's AI chatbot. It's also enhancing the search experience, and it's even being integrated into their new Pixel 8 Pro smartphone.
So it's not just some theoretical research project. It's actually out there in the real world working its magic.
Absolutely. And that's just the beginning. We can expect to see Gemini popping up in more and more Google products in the future.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff. I'm excited to see where all this leads, but I also have to admit I'm a little bit intimidated by all this AI power.
I understand. It's a powerful technology with the potential to change our lives in profound ways. And that brings us to another important aspect of Google's AI strategy, the ethical considerations.
Right. Because with great power comes great responsibility, as they say.
Exactly. We're talking about giving AI more and more control over our lives. So how is Google ensuring that they're developing and using AI in a way that's ethical and doesn't create more problems than it solves?
Yeah, that's a big question. So what does this report say about Google's approach to responsible AI?
Well, they lay out their AI principles, which focus on safety, fairness, transparency, and accountability.
Okay, so they've got these principles written down, but are they actually putting them into practice?
That's the key question. And from what I can gather from this report, they are making efforts. They've set up internal ethics boards, they've released tools and resources for developers, and they're engaging in discussions about AI regulation.
So they're not just trying to check a box, they're actually trying to build a culture of responsible AI within the company.
That's the impression I get. And I think that's really important because AI is such a powerful technology. It has the potential to do a lot of good, but it also has the potential to cause harm if it's not developed and used responsibly.
I agree. We need to make sure that AI is used to benefit humanity, not to harm it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a message that's resonating with a lot of people these days. There's a growing awareness of the potential downsides of AI and a growing demand for companies to be more ethical in their development and use of this technology.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but this report is packed with even more information. We need to talk about the competition, the copyright issues, those super futuristic projects like Project Astra. And I want to dive deeper into those ethical considerations and see how Google is really putting those principles into practice. But let's take a breath for a second. Okay, so before we get into that, let's go back to something you said earlier about Google's massive investments in AI.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like they're really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to this whole AI first thing.
They definitely are. And it's not just about the money, it's about the strategy. They're building this whole ecosystem around AI. From the specialized hardware to the massive data centers to the research and development, it's all interconnected.
And they're weaving it into all their products like we talked about, Search, Smartphones, Bard.
Exactly. They see AI as the key to unlocking the full potential of all their products and services.
Well, they're not the only ones in this game, right? There are other big players making moves in the AI space.
Oh, absolutely. This is a global race for AI dominance, and there are some serious contenders out there.
Like who?
Well, you've got Microsoft for one. They're investing heavily in AI, integrating it into their cloud platform, their productivity suite, even their search engine, Bing.
Right. And they've got that partnership with OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT.
Exactly. That's been a huge move for them.
Yeah.
ChatGPT really captured the public's attention, and it put Microsoft in a strong position in the generative AI market.
So is this like a head-to-head battle between Google and Microsoft?
It's definitely one of the key rivalries to watch in the AI space. But it's not just about those two. You've also got companies like Amazon, Meta, Apple, all investing heavily in AI and developing their own strategies.
It's starting to sound like a bit of an AI arms race.
It kind of is, and the stakes are high. This isn't just about bragging rights. It's about economic power, technological leadership, even national security.
So how does Google's approach differ from its competitors? What sets them apart?
Well, one key difference is their focus on integration. Google is really good at weaving AI into its existing products and services. They've got this massive user base that billions of people using their products every day. And they're leveraging that to gather data, train their AI models, and make their products smarter.
So it's like they're using their existing strengths to build a moat around their AI empire.
Exactly. And they're also playing the long game. Google CEO Sundar Pichai has said that they're not necessarily focused on being the first in everything. They're more interested in building the best AI in the long run.
So it's quality over speed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's reflected in their approach to AI development. They're investing heavily in research focusing on responsible AI principles and taking a more cautious, deliberate approach than some of their competitors.
It's like the tortoise and the hare of the AI world.
I like that analogy. Google is definitely the tortoise in this race.
Yeah,
But they've got a pretty good track record of winning in the end.
that's true. Google has a history of being a bit late to the game, but then they come in and dominate.
Yeah, they've done that with search, with mobile operating systems, with web browsers. Now they're trying to do the same thing with AI.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but let's get back to this report. It mentions some pretty futuristic stuff beyond just improving search and smartphones. What about these projects like Project Astra?
Ah, yes, Project Astra. That's where things get really interesting. This is Google's vision for a truly universal AI assistant, something that goes way beyond just setting reminders or answering questions.
So what would this Astra AI actually do?
Well, imagine an AI that can truly understand your needs and anticipate your intentions. It can help you manage your schedule, book your flights, write a speech, even teach you a new skill.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, but Google is serious about making this a reality. They're exploring new ways for humans and AI to interact more seamlessly and intuitively. They're looking at things like voice gesture, even thought, as potential input methods.
Thought? So are we talking about mind-reading AI here?
Not exactly mind reading, but they're investigating brain-computer interfaces as a potential way to interact with AI in the future. It's still very early days, but the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
So it's like AI on a whole other level.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not just about new interfaces.
Mm.
Project Astra is also about creating AI that can reason and act autonomously. Think of it like an AI agent that can act on your behalf in the real world.
Okay, now that's starting to sound a little
I
scary.
can see why you'd say that, but the potential benefits are huge.
Mm.
Imagine an AI that can take care of all those tedious tasks that bog us down every day. Booking appointments, making reservations, managing our finances. It could free up so much time and energy for us to focus on things that really matter.
So it's like having a personal AI butler taking care of all the boring stuff.
In a way, yeah. But it's also about more than just convenience. Project Astra is about creating AI that can augment our abilities, help us make better decisions, and ultimately enhance our lives in meaningful ways.
It's a pretty bold vision, and I have to admit, I'm both excited and a little apprehensive about it.
I think that's a healthy attitude. To have AI has the potential to be incredibly beneficial. But it's important to approach it with a critical eye and to think carefully about the implications.
Speaking of implications, we've talked a lot about the potential benefits of AI, but what about the potential risks? What are some of the things that worry you about this AI revolution?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is bias. AI systems are trained on data, and that data can reflect existing biases in society. So if we're not careful, we could end up with AI systems that perpetuate and even amplify those biases.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the data that feeds it.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have diverse teams of people working on AI to make sure that different perspectives are represented and to challenge those biases.
So it's not just about building AI, it's about building AI responsibly.
Right. And that means thinking carefully about the data we use to train these systems, the algorithms we design, and the values we embed in them.
So it's not just a technical challenge, it's a social and ethical challenge as well.
Absolutely. And it's a challenge that we all need to be a part of, because the future of AI is not something that's going to happen to us. It's something that we're all creating together.
That's a good point. We can't just sit back and let the tech companies decide what the future of AI looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to be informed, we need to engage in the conversation, and we need to demand that AI be developed and used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well, this has been an incredibly thought-provoking conversation. I'm feeling a lot more informed about Google's AI strategy, but I also have a lot more questions.
I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It means you're starting to think critically about this technology and its implications.
And that's what we need more of. Critical thinking and informed discussion about the future of AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because this is a technology that has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways, and we need to make sure that we're shaping it for the better.
Well said. But we're not done yet. We've got one more part of this deep dive to go. And I'm really interested to hear more about the ethical and regulatory aspects of Google's AI strategy. So let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and tackle those thorny issues. Welcome back to the show. So we've spent a lot of time unpacking Google's AI strategy, but it's important to remember they're not operating in a vacuum, right? There's a whole world of AI out there.
That's right. This isn't a solo mission. Google's got some serious competition in the AI arena.
Yeah. Who are the other big players we should be paying attention to?
One of the most obvious ones is Microsoft. They're really making a push in AI, integrating it into their cloud platform, their Office suite, even their search engine, Bing.
Right. And of course, there's that whole partnership with OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT.
Exactly. That's been a game changer.
Yeah.
ChatGPT really captured the public's imagination, and put Microsoft on the map in a big way.
It seems like ChatGPT kind of came out of nowhere. Suddenly everyone was talking about it.
It did seem to explode onto the scene. But OpenAI has been working on these large language models for years. They've just been a bit more under the radar than Google.
So how would you compare Google's approach to AI with what OpenAI is doing?
Well, I think one key difference is their philosophy. Google's approach is very much about integration. They want to weave AI into all their existing products and services, make them smarter, more personalized.
Right, they've got that massive user base and all that data they can leverage.
Exactly. OpenAI, on the other hand, is more focused on developing these really powerful AI models and then making them available to others through APIs and partnerships.
So it's like two different paths to AI dominance. One is about building a platform, the other is about building the tools.
That's a good way to put it.
Hmm.
And of course, there are other players out there too. Amazon, Meta, Apple. They're all investing heavily in AI.
It's like an AI arms race.
It kind of is. And the stakes are high. This isn't just about technology. It's about economic power, national security, even global influence.
So where do you see this all heading? What's the future of AI look like?
It's hard to say for sure. Things are moving so fast in this field. But I think one thing is clear. AI is going to become increasingly integrated into our lives. It's going to touch everything from how we work to how we communicate to how we entertain ourselves.
And what about Google? Do you think they're well positioned to lead this AI revolution?
I think they have a lot of strengths.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the resources, the talent, the data,
Yeah.
and they've got a track record of innovation.
But they also face some challenges, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
The competition is fierce, and the ethical and regulatory landscape is complex. They're going to have to navigate those carefully.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about. It's clear that AI is a powerful force, and it's already having a profound impact on our world.
It really is. And it's only going to become more so in the years to come.
So what can we as individuals do to prepare for this AI-powered future?
Well, I think the most important thing is stay informed. Educate yourself about AI, its potential benefits and its potential risks, and engage in the conversation. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and demand that AI be used ethically and responsibly.
That's great advice. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI, not passive bystanders.
Absolutely. The future is not something that just happens to us. It's something we create.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Google AI. It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. And I've enjoyed exploring these topics with you.
We hope you've enjoyed listening as much as we've enjoyed talking about it. And we encourage you to keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those tough questions. Because the future of AI is in our hands.